Thank you, Deb Miller, for reminding us of our Father's love this morning as we open this service of remembrance. I am Chaplain Ann Weaver. I welcome the families and friends of Miriam Whitmer, Frank Rhodes, Ruth Groff, Harrison Shirk, and Benjamin Hershey, to this chapel and also watching online across the country. We grieve with you, and we want to remember with you these precious people. Henry Nouwen, a Catholic priest, wrote a piece called "Every Bit of Life is Touched by a Bit of Death," and I'd like to read it. Joy and sadness are as close to each other as the splendid colored leaves of a New England fall to the soberness of the barren trees. When you touch the hand of a returning friend, you already know that he will have to leave again. When you are moved by the quiet vastness of a sun-colored ocean, you miss the friend who cannot see the same. Joy and sadness are born at the same time, both arising from such deep places in your heart that you can't find words to capture your complex emotions. But this intimate experience in which every bit of life is touched by a bit of death can point us beyond the limits of our existence. It can do so by making us look forward in expectation to the day when our hearts will be filled with perfect joy, a joy that no one shall take away from us. I invite Richard Bossart and Jim Miller to sing a song that will surely touch our souls, "I Know Not Why, God's Wondrous Love."
Grace to me he hath made known, nor why with mercy Christ in love redeemed me for his own. But I know I have believed and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day. I know not how this saving faith to me he did impart, nor how believing in his word brought peace within my heart. But I know whom I have believed and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day. I know not how the Spirit moves, convincing mass of sin, am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day. I know not when my Lord may come, at night or noonday fair, nor if I'll walk the vale with him, or meet him in the air. But I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I've committed unto him against that day.
Richard and Jim, you sang it as a testimony. Thank you. Let us remember our loved ones. Miriam Moeller Whitmer, age 93, a resident of Landis Homes for over 20 years, passed away on July 31. Miriam was born September 19, 1930 in Ephrata to Martin and Barbara Sechrist Moeller. She attended Napierville Parochial Elementary School in Stevens and graduated from Cocalico High School in 1948. She married H. Howard Whitmer on May 9, 1953 at Ephrata Mennonite Church, and they were married 66 years before his passing on July 2, 2019. Howard and Miriam opened their home to many individuals and families and hosted international guests. They taught ceramics in a home business and later operated a kitchen gadget stand called Kitchen Corner for 25 years at Roots Country Market in Mannheim. Miriam served with Christian Social Ministries of Lancaster County for several years, overseeing the clothing bank and providing fresh produce. Her hobbies included hosting meals, quilting, knitting, reading, staying up on the news, and writing letters. She loved the telephone, too. She had a generous spirit, loved people, practiced hospitality, and spent countless hours in prayer. She was a long-time active member of the Crossings Community Church, formerly known as Erisman's Mennonite Church, and the wife of a bishop. She was predeceased by her parents, husband, brother, Carl Moeller, sister, Blanche Horst, and daughter-in-law, Carol Whitmer. She is survived by twin sister Ruth Rudy, brother James and Janet Moeller, and sister Barb and Jim Gerber, as well as a daughter Arlene and her husband Malin Yoder, and son Dave and his wife Joy Whitmer, 5 grandchildren and 12 great-grandchildren. A memorial service was held in West Bethany Chapel on September 28, with a reception that followed in the Westview Community Room. We remember Miriam Whitmer, her sister-in-law, Electa Moeller, who lives at Landis Homes, and all who love her.
I'm Chaplain Kathy Miles. Frank P. Rhodes Sr., age 98, died on Friday, August 2nd at Landis Homes, where he resided since 2013. He was the husband of the late Betty C. Gwaltney Rhodes, who died in 2010. Born in Oxford, he was the son of the late Frank and Mildred Churchman Rhodes. Frank was a 1944 graduate of the Oxford High School. He was employed in electrical construction. He retired following a 35-year career as a construction inspector supervisor with the Pennsylvania Department of General Services. While living in the Cochranville area, the family were members of the Manor Presbyterian Church. Frank, along with other offices, served as Scoutmaster of Troop 63, sponsored by the church. He is survived by 3 children, Sandra and Gary Simmons of Atglen, Lori Rhodes of Bethel, and Frank Jr. of Wilder, Vermont, 5 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren. He was preceded in death by 1 daughter, Denise Miller, and 7 siblings. Graveside services were held on Friday, August 23rd at the Oxford Cemetery in Oxford, Pennsylvania. We remember Frank Rhodes and all who love him.
Ruth D. Groff, 102, died on August 7. Born in Peckway Township, she was the daughter of the late Samuel and Maud Graver Dagan. She was the wife of the late Amos Groff and the late Harry Nolt. Ruth was a member of Groffdale Mennonite Church. She was involved in Sunday school and the sewing circle. She was also a former member of the Byerland Mennonite Church. Ruth was a dental assistant in her early career and then completed training as an LPN. She worked at Lancaster General Hospital in the newborn nursery. She enjoyed reading, gardening, sewing, traveling, family work days, and volunteering at Landis Homes. She had a quick smile and kind words for everyone she met. She loved news from her family and readily shared their joys and sorrows as her own. Surviving family members are her sister-in-law, Nancy Dagan, 9 nieces and nephews, and 7 stepchildren. She was preceded in death by sisters Cora, Anna, Mary, and brother Samuel. A private graveside service was held on September 21 at the Byerland Mennonite Church Cemetery. We remember Ruth Groff and all who love her.
Harrison M. Shirk, 97, formerly of New Holland, passed away on August 7th at Landis Homes. He was married 67 years to the late Peggy L. Shirk, who died in 2021. Born in Reading, he was the son of the late Eli and Ruth Marshall Shirk. Harrison had worked many years at Lancaster Malleable Corporation. He was a member of Word of Life Deaf Lutheran Church. Harrison enjoyed traveling, hunting, fishing, but he was the happiest when he was spending time with his family. Surviving are 2 daughters, Paula Yank, married to Donald, and Grace Shirk Emmons, married to Jeffrey, 7 grandchildren, and 8 great-grandchildren. He was preceded in death by a son, Terry H. Shirk, a sister, Ruth Atkinson, and brothers Robert, Dale, and Gilbert Shirk. Services were held at the convenience of the family, with Pastor Russell Rockwell officiating. The interment was in Terry Hill Cemetery. We remember Harrison Shirk and all who love him.
Benjamin Denlinger Hershey, 92, passed away after a brief illness on August 8 at his cottage surrounded by his family. He was a member of the Landis Valley Christian Fellowship. Ben was the oldest of 6 children born to Sem and Martha Denlinger Hershey. He spent his childhood and youth on a dairy farm in the village of Spring Garden. He was a 1951 graduate of Lancaster Mennonite High School. In 1953, he served with the Mennonite Central Committee PAX program in Germany, although his term ended early due to the sudden death of his father. Ben returned home to manage the family farm and to help his mother and 5 younger siblings remain together. Ben married Martha Bear Hershey of Brownstown on April 21, 1956, at Carpenter's Mennonite Church. He and Martha operated their own dairy farm for several years and were active in the Meadville Mennonite Church. In 1965, they sold their dairy operation and moved with their young children to Immokalee, Florida, to assist the emerging Mennonite church in that area, and lived there for 40 years. Ben graduated from the University of South Florida, Tampa, with a degree in math education and taught in the Lee and Collier public schools for 29 years. He also served as pastor of People's Chapel Mennonite Church in Immokalee, Florida, for 25 years. Ben was mission and service-oriented and touched countless lives. He served on the boards of various community organizations in Florida and Pennsylvania. He and Martha served as cooks at 5 Mennonite disaster service sites. In 2006, they returned to Pennsylvania and moved to Landis Homes, but continued to spend their winters in Florida. In retirement years, Ben enjoyed spending time on the golf course and making stained glass art, which you see on the slide. He also enjoyed gardening, travel, baking cookies, crossword puzzles, Scrabble, adult coloring, music, baseball, and fantasy golf. He loved being outdoors, admiring all of nature. Ben was very active at Landis Homes and accumulated many volunteer hours, including at the AV desk where I first got to know him. He especially enjoyed volunteering at Book Savers of Ephrata. He enjoyed Mennonite church history and family genealogy. 10 years ago, Ben wrote his memoir entitled Steps of Faith to share with his family and close friends. Being in relationship with people was very special and important to him. He had a deep Christian faith that was evident throughout his life. Ben is survived by his wife, Martha, of 68 years, 4 children and their spouses, Anita Hershey and Robert Furman, Jeanette and Gerald Hershey, Benjamin Lee and Michelle Hershey, Julie and Jonathan Thiessen, 7 grandchildren and 4 great-grandchildren, 3 siblings, Verna Yost, Rhoda Yost, and Miriam and Leo Martin, sister-in-law Jenny Hershey, along with many nieces and nephews. He was preceded in death by 2 brothers, Leonard Hershey and Charles Hershey, 2 brothers-in-law, Ivan Yost and John Yost, and 1 sister-in-law, Eva Hershey. A private interment was held at Hershey Mennonite Cemetery. His memorial service was held on Saturday, August 24 in West Bethany Chapel, with a reception that followed in Westview Community Room. We remember Benjamin Hershey, his wife Martha, who lives at Landis Homes, and all who love him.
As we close this service of remembrance, we pause to remember those bracing for yet another devastating hurricane. Ben and Martha Hershey spent 40 years in Florida, investing in the lives of many people. They have a son who still lives there. Perhaps you also have loved ones who have suffered great loss from Hurricane Helene and are now anticipating the fury of Hurricane Milton. Those things which are beyond our control, such as the death of a loved one and life-threatening storms, can overwhelm us. We are so grateful for those who are responding and caring for the needs of those impacted by these storms. We ask for mercy. We pause and draw strength from our God, the one who is all-powerful and encompasses us with his love. I will read a version of Psalm 17 from the book Psalms Now by Leslie Brandt. It is no wonder that I love you, O God. You have granted me a security that I could never find among the things of this world. You have erased from my life the fear of death. What follows the grave is not my fearful concern. The traumatic experiences of this life cannot destroy me. You are never out of reach, but are ever aware of my problems and conflicts. How great and all-powerful is my God! The quaking of the earth, the shaking of the mountains, the blackness of the night, the beauty of the heavens, the lightning that crisscrosses our skies, the oceans that lash against our shores. This and much more bear witness to the majesty of my God. And this is the God who is concerned about me. God reaches into my distraught life to heal my wounds. God encompasses me with eternal life and love. May you feel encompassed by God's love today and for all of eternity. Amen.